Hello boys and girls, this is Mr. K, and today I'm going to do an artwork with you around the theme of be a positive role model, being a positive role model. And I've got some examples to share with you, two that I've made and one set that my students have made in class this week, and I'm also going to make one with you which you can follow step by step or do at the end. So here is one example that I've made, and here is another filled with positive words and thoughts that are very important when it comes to being a positive role model, like being respectful, confident, imperfect, inspirational, happy, kind, having integrity, being resilient, being trusting, having strong values, forgiving yourself and others, accepting yourself and others, being brave, selfless, and non-violent. So all of these qualities are things that I believe, and many other people believe as well, that make up a positive role model. We'll talk about those as we draw today. Here are some examples of children's work that was made today. So I'm going to quickly take you through these. And when I teach art, I always encourage children to be unique and to express themselves in the way they want to. So they don't have to copy what I do. They don't have to really use many of the ideas that I'm showing them. They can express themselves in the way that they feel is best. And that's why you'll see such diversity in the art. You'll see some children that like to use ideas that I have, and then you'll see children who like to come up with their own ideas. And I think both are great. And I think that most of the children who made these today really enjoyed making them and will remember how to draw these bees in the future in the hives so that they can explore other artworks using these types of drawing and colouring techniques. So that's a collection of work there that we've been through today. And the next thing I'm going to do is talk you through how to draw this artwork. So I might sit this one over to the side so we can look at it if we want to. And I'll try and sit this in the middle so that we can all see it. All right, the first shape that we want to draw is a large oval, which is going to be the body of our bee. And it does not have to be perfect in any way. So just draw a nice oval, and then you can add your wings. 1, 2. They don't have to be in proportion. They don't have to be very big. It's just a cartoon style of drawing that we're doing today. And I'm going to add some bands of colour and a tail, or a stinger to our bee. And we are going to draw 2 antennas. One goes in front and one goes behind. We can add some patterns to our bee stripe. It doesn't have to be coloured in black or brown. We can shade it or pattern it. And that's the technique I'm using just now. We can add 2 large kawaii style eyes using various techniques. There's no right or wrong way to draw the eyes. I'll draw them this way today. I'm rushing a little bit because I don't want to waste too much of your time. I'd like you to experiment on your own. So there's some eyes, little mouth and 2 cheeks. So that face has a bit of personality and expression. We can add some movement lines to the wings. And the next thing I'm going to do is draw the beehive. So to do this, I'm going to make up a bit of a branch. And every branch you draw can be different. It doesn't have to follow any set rules, it's just a branch. And I think the beehive is going to come off of this one. But feel free to experiment and have a look at some trees and look at some patterns and some formations that appeal to you. You can add some details to your branches, some extra leaves. So each time I've drawn this, it looks different, and I encourage you to draw your own style. as well. So there's our branch, and now I'm going to add a beehive. And to draw the beehive, it's going to start with this simple shape, and then it's going to flow down another level, and then I'm going to add a bit of a opening, which is also going to leave a gap so I can add some honey. And this time I've made the opening a bit less perfect than the first time I drew it, just because I want to experiment with a different style. And then it will get smaller and smaller. So I've created our beehive, and I've created our branch and our bee. And the next thing we want to do is to add a positive quote about being a positive role model. So let's have a go at doing that. Now we could write in bubble writing or cursive writing, calligraphy, whatever appeals to us. I will write in some bubble writing this time for the word be. Be a positive role model. And then we can color that however we want to, using whatever you have. If you have Sharpies, textures, crayons, pencils, watercolor paint, oil pastels, experiment. Draw and color and imagine however you want to. And that's what you noticed with the artwork that my students made. They just used whatever they had, and they bring in different things that they see on sale at Kmart, and they just have a bit of fun. But I'm going to talk you through these words now and add them to the artwork as we go, because this is really important information. What we're going to talk about now, you can color and draw while you're listening. But I do encourage you to listen, because these are really important concepts about what it takes to be a role model, or what we look up to in others that are role models. So one thing that we always need in a role model is respect. So respect is respecting yourself. It is respecting our planet, respecting our school, respecting your parents. It's about speaking and acting with respect. It's about thinking respectfully as well. Another important idea when it comes to being a role model is being kind. In fact, I think it's probably the most important quality you can ever have. And someone once said to me that a long time from now, people will rarely ever remember anything you did or anything you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. And they will remember if you made them feel like you were treating them with kindness. And I do believe that. I don't often remember very particular things that people say to me, but I do remember how they make me feel, and I do remember how kind they are. And I think that's true for me. The next thing about being a positive role model is about being confident in yourself and making other people feel confident. So not breaking people down. Encouraging people to be the best versions of themselves that they can be. There's no competition. There's enough light for everybody. So being confident in yourself, but also shining that light on others. Inspire people around you. You may think that you're quite an ordinary or simple or quiet person, but you may be inspiring someone to be a little bit like you, a little bit introspective, or a little bit self-reflective, or a little bit of a kind friend and a gentle soul just by being there. You don't have to be loud and out there and taking over conversations. You might be inspiring people in a different way. So you can inspire people just by existing. You don't have to do anything special. So just by being you, by being kind and by being respectful, you might actually be inspiring a lot of people. Being a positive role model radiates happiness. It brings happiness to those around you, and it makes you feel happy that you're making a positive impact on the world around you. Integrity. Integrity is following through with what you said you would do, or following through with a commitment that you made, or a promise that you made, or your word. If you say that you will be someone's friend, and then when another person comes by and you don't want to play with that initial friend anymore, that's not really acting with integrity. So follow through with your commitments. Make people feel like they are important and valued to you, not just the next best option. Being resilient. R-E-S-I-L-I-E-N-T. Resilience is the ability to endure hardships, the ability to overcome challenges. It means not quitting when things are a bit tricky. It means that you know how big that mountain is, and you take the necessary supplies, and you pace yourself, and you get to the top, and you celebrate it when you do. Being resilient means things are challenging and you do them anyway. You don't have to just quit because it's raining, or because you're feeling sad, or because you're feeling tired. You push through and you make it happen. A positive role model is someone you can trust, and someone you can go to that will help you find the right person to help you as well. So sometimes it's important to talk to responsible adults as well as our friends, but a good role model knows when it is time to talk to the right person, and when it's important to be trusting in what you're telling them as well. Positive role models have values. They hold values close to their heart, and that might be that you protect your family, or it might be that you don't waste money on silly things, or it might be that you don't waste food. So they've got strong values and they stick to them. They're very important to them. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Being able to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes. We are all human. Being able to forgive others when they make their mistakes. Children are human, and children are little humans, so they're going to need more forgiveness. We all make mistakes. Adults as well. So a good role model is willing to forgive and willing to forgive themselves. Acceptance is also important. We need to accept ourselves, all of ourselves, the good and the bad. We are not perfect. In fact, we are perfectly imperfect. And a good role model understands that you do not have to be perfect. You do not need to get everything right. And they accept that about themselves. They are brave enough to make mistakes, and they are brave enough to try again. They can be selfless. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't think about yourself at all. It means that once you have taken care of what you need for yourself, you also think of others. So don't drain yourself of all your energy and all of your happiness just to please other people, to be perfect and things like that. Make sure you look after yourself, but then give what you can to those around you. And that's called being selfless. I don't believe in being completely selfless. I do believe in being a little bit selfish as well. But being selfless is important when it comes to being kind and when it comes to being generous. And one more topic. Non-violence. This is hand in hand with being kind. Non-violence is essential. Being non-violent with our thoughts, being non-violent with our words, being non-violent with our actions. The more we practice non-violence, the more we realize that what we say has an impact. We can either choose to hurt those around us with our words, or we can heal those around us with our words. We can choose to walk away from a violent situation, or we can choose to engage in a violent situation. You can choose to hurt someone's feelings by the words that you use or the tone that you use, or you can make someone feel really good. So being non-violent is one of the final things I wanted to say about this week's topic, about being a positive role model. And I highly encourage you to explore, experiment, create, imagine, and do something beautiful and special and creative for yourself, for your classroom, for your bedroom, to remind you about being your best self, to remind you about how to inspire positive change in all of those around you. We all have the ability, and I'm just going to finish this video today by showing you the creativity of the 8 and 9-year-olds in my class that have made all of these beautiful artworks out of crayons and textures and oil pastels and a little bit of watercolor paint and a lot of imagination, a few sharp lead pencils, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope that you consider those important words that I wrote on my artwork today and how they are meaningful for you. And maybe you can add some of your own words. And I'd love to hear and see your thoughts and also see your artworks. I hope you have a wonderful week and remember to be a positive role model. Goodbye.